This marks the end of an era. 1960 is disbanding. This is actually happening, or at least I think it's happening. In this video, we're going to go over the Kingdom mail from Chisgule, who announces his departure from 960 leadership. And the entirety of this mail was shared in Cortex's live stream, so I'm comfortable sharing it because it's already public. So here we go. Hi, everyone. It's not easy to say this, but the time has come. This KVK is my last dance, and with it, my journey in 960 comes to an end. I started playing Rise of Kingdoms in October 2018, earlier than most of you. For what it's worth, that's when I also started. Back then, my wife and I had been together for 3 years, but now we're celebrating our 10th anniversary with our second child arriving next year. Congratulations. Kids will change your life for sure. People shift their focus as they grow. Zake and Alano have become busy with their new jobs. Maymar, Galv, and Pika will soon graduate and step into a new chapter of life. Landlord Chen has a health issue and won't be able to serve anymore, and there are so many other good officers that have quit already. I cannot possibly list them all. In fact, 90% of them don't even have an account, but they're still willing to help for many KVKs without asking a return, so please be grateful for their past efforts. They did so much, not because of the game itself, because of the love, the bond, and the friendship. Now, if most of our core leadership can no longer commit, we simply can't sustain the same level anymore. Rock has been a part of our lives for too long, long enough to finally let go and move on. I'm sorry to say this, but our management team will disband. Every hell KVK we endured cost us more than just troops. We lost friends, teammates, and leaders along the way. Most of the friends I once fought alongside already quit. I miss Kendrick pushing 3-day fights by himself, Leopard snoring on Discord. Oh, I didn't know he did that when he was too exhausted to turn the mic off. I miss all the good old days where we stayed all night tanking for each other, no matter win or loss. Yet Rock today doesn't give me that feeling anymore. With battle reports viewable on trading ratio, half of people on Discord are pilots who only care about their trades. Now you cannot find the unspoken bond and trust any longer. The moment I'm proudest of was after our first loss to 1093. When many had every reason to walk, some of us chose to stay. We stood together, rebuilt together, and believed in each other. Then we helped 60 GT rise again. We came back stronger than ever, and in 2025, we fought two of the most epic KVKs in Rock history. True. To all the new members who joined recently, I'm sorry you didn't get to fight more battles together, or we didn't get to fight more battles together. I wish we had more time. By now, we fought against or alongside almost every Imperium in the game. For me, there are no regrets left and nothing more we need to prove. Every dynasty has its end of story, has its final chapter, and this, for me, is the perfect one. People always debate which kingdom is the GOAT. Honestly, I don't care what they say because to me, I can't spell GOAT without GT. It's resilience, courage, refusing to give up when everything is against you. Thank you for everything, the journey, the memories, and for standing by each other. Wow. Wow. There's a lot to react to here. But there are kind of 2 or 3 core messages in here that are like pretty major. And this is like the leader of, you know, the biggest kingdom in the game shows up and says these things. So what I see here is 3 things. And at first when I was in the stream with Cortex, I heard only really 2, but now that I'm reading this again, top to bottom, there's 3 things. The first is that the cost to maintain their standard is too high. The cost is too high to maintain their standard. And it's funny because I've been saying for like years that reducing the leadership burden is a huge win for the state of the game, and the developers have been doing that. I mean, it's easy to forget that you used to have to manually approve everybody into Alliance shells, which is kind of nuts. The second thing I heard is that the camaraderie's not the same as it used to be. And like, yeah, I mean, to have accounts running 24/7, it's a different experience, right? It's a different experience. And the third thing that I see in here is that there's no one left to fight. And the funny thing is that if you ask me what I think is it good or bad that 960 is disbanding? I'll tell you this. If I could Thanos snap every Imperium kingdom out of existence, scattering those players into other alliances and kingdoms, which includes my own kingdom, by the way, in 2377, if I could Thanos snap it and no one would know that it ever happened, I would do it. I would for sure do it. Without hesitation. I am Thanos. But like, joking aside, I think that something that would be exciting for the game state is a sort of endless supply of approximately the same power kingdoms to go and battle against. And you're obviously never going to get a whole swarm of kingdoms that are all about the same strength, but there aren't that many kingdoms left at that 960 level of strength. In fact, they were sort of in their own class, right? And there's a number of reasons why that's the case. And here is the king of that kingdom saying it's too much to maintain that style of play. So, you know, look, GT's had a major impact, obviously, on the state of the game in a major way. I think GT defined for many kingdoms a list of things they had to do to start to be competitive again that before were probably not on the horizon. And I think there was no kingdom more willing than GT to commit to all of the things necessary to gain advantage in and position in all of the ways that they could. And that's not a criticism or some weird like commentary. Like, in stream, I said that 960 was an exceptional kingdom. To be an exceptional kingdom, or to be exceptional in life, you must be willing to be the exception, which means, by definition, you are willing to do things that other people are not willing to do. And no kingdom was more willing than 960 to do all of the things necessary to get advantage and strength in all of the ways that they could, okay? And it showed in the results. And it's a lot to maintain. And I get it. It's definitely not ideal to have any kingdom disbanding. I do think, as the sort of boogeyman in the Rise of Kingdoms world, like, who becomes the new boogeyman? It's probably just 1093 at this point? Question mark? I don't know what they look like at the end of this KVK and going into their next, but 93 has had losses before and done well as a result and bounced back from it. So, like, I think they'll be fine. But this is going to be a new era for Rise of Kingdoms, like, for sure, in a really big way. And, you know, I think, in my perfect world, and again, you can't go do this now that these communities with all these people exist. But like, in my perfect world, you'd kind of Thanos snap all these biggest communities, scatter those players into other communities, such that there's more folks to battle against in the end game. And also, I think that, you know, 24/7 accounts running, as, you know, Seawell is alluding to, is not easy. It's not easy to maintain. I mean, you know, I like, personally, that I can go to my KP and I can point to this number, right? And be proud of what I've done. Do you see what I mean? Like, I can point to this and be like, yeah, like I put in, you can't see it. This is my small account, right? Like, I did do a lot of work. Like, if I switch to my main account, it's like, yeah, like I put in a lot. And, you know, well, we're entering into a new era, man. We're entering into a new era, where maybe the bar for competition drops a little bit, right? There's my KP. Maybe the competition drops a little bit for what it takes to be top tier. But, you know, long ago I said I'd like to see Imperium requirements get more strict, not less strict. I think that the new migration point system is very cool for sort of allowing big communities to continue to be big communities. But there's only so many groups that are remaining to fight. And when 960 ran out of people to fight and people willing to put in the level of effort that it takes to maintain the standard that they have, yeah, no, I get it. I do. So I don't know where those players are going. I do genuinely wish them the best in kind of where they go and what they do next. Yeah, they could just merge with 2293. I think we have space, lol. I am tongue in cheek because I'm sure they've got their own plans for where they want to go, and no shortage of invitations to go wherever they want. Because who doesn't want players that throw down like they do in their kingdom, right? So, anyways, I don't know. I think this marks an interesting point in the history of the game. And I'm very curious for where we head next, especially because we now have the new format, Supreme Strife, where it honestly doesn't matter what kingdom you're in. You can form your super team across any number of kingdoms. So I'll be covering Supreme Strife and how some of this stuff works in future vids. So if you enjoyed this one, throw a like on here, subscribe. Enjoy is kind of a weird word in the context of, you know, like a major alliance departing from the game. But I do think this opens up like very much like a green field for like, okay, what does ROK become moving forward? And who is the new boogeyman? Because I don't think it's particularly a secret that after, you know, fighting 960 a bunch of times, like I know all the ways they have to gain advantage. And it's like, I'm not interested in that. I don't want to fight them. I'm good, man. So on the one hand, it's like, yeah, glad to not have to fight them again. On the other hand, like, you know, it's always sad to see a community breaking up. Who knows what's going to happen next? Subscribe to find out. We'll see, man. We'll see. This is big changes for sure. Whew.